dark. My name is Jason. I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes as we talk. Well, we got two topics on. I should say all things golf, but that's what we're going to start with. But tonight we got two great topics. Bryson DeChambeau and, of course, Tiger Woods, just because of the WGC invitational time at the Bridgestone. So first, let's get out of the way the important stuff. This week's show, like every show, is presented by Arsenal Cider House. Go to arsenalciderhouse.com. They have 3 great locations, but if you go to the website, you can find out all the different offerings at each location. It does vary. It also varies per time of year. My particular favorite spot is the Finleyville, Peters Township location, and my favorite, absolutely, is Bryerson's Ginger. We'll be doing a ton of shows here coming up from there live in the fall, live and in person, but for the meantime we are off-site. So can't wait to get back in there starting, I would say, 2 weeks from now with my broadcast partner, Zach. But anyways, we're talking golf tonight, and excited about the two topics. Let's kick it off briefly with the Bryson DeChambeau stuff that happened last week. Coming off of a situation where he had blown up on the driving range, showed some emotion. Basically looked like any one of us on a driving range after struggling. I mean, he looked like any normal player, average player on the driving range. If you care about your game anyways, that's what he looked like. Kind of crazy to watch the meltdown and then to see the way he reacted after his meltdown during the European Tour event. To see the handshake at the end, which was all the rage, and I don't mean that in a good sense. He took a lot of flack for it, as well he should have. But to be honest, I don't think it was as bad as it was played out to be. Not even close. So, kind of disappointed. I shouldn't say kind of disappointed, but I was very disappointed in the overreaction. Not surprised by it. We're in an overreactive world where everybody's got an opinion. Yeah, no kidding, me too. That's why I'm on here. But Twitter was ablaze with European golf fans going crazy, saying many European golf fans, and I'm not talking for the masses, I'm talking about the handful that spoke up and was ripping on Bryson and talking about how he's just another American golfer with a bad attitude. Hint, hint, nod, nod to Patrick Reed. I got to be honest with you. I think it's all a big pile of poo as far as that goes. I just don't buy into it. I don't buy into it at all. I think it's crap. Yeah, did he show his emotions? Should he have shaken hands? Should he have? And he did. But should he have shown a little more class? Yes, and he didn't do it. It happens. Life's tough. Time to move on. And it should have been left alone pretty quick. He came out. He apologized. He actually had a sit down with Mike Tirico from the Golf Channel, explaining everything. Talked about how he wears his emotions on his sleeve. A lot of players do. I've snapped clubs. I've bent tennis rackets. A lot of players overreact. If you care, it's easy to overreact. It's easy to say the wrong things, do the wrong things. As a pro, you need to keep your emotions in check, and it is very difficult to do that. But as a pro, you should be more accustomed to it. So, I was disappointed in his behavior, but but I thought as a whole it was an overreaction. That's why I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but the fact is I wanted to spend a little bit of time because it did deserve being recognized. As for Tiger Woods, a lot of people have him this week as the projected winner. A lot of people have him being the guy that, or this being the course that he's going to actually break through and win on. He's won here 3 times. This is the last time they're going to be playing here. I do believe they're getting a senior championship event here, but it's not going to be the same. Not even close, obviously. So every week it seems like there is another prediction of this. This is the week. This is the tournament. This is the golf course. I don't buy any of it. I haven't. We do a weekly a weekly pick'em on the website. Did you see that golf.com and did you see that golfpittsburgh.com? We do a weekly pick'em, and I've yet to pick them. My writing partners have yet to pick them. And it's not that Tiger Woods isn't a great golfer, because he is. He's one of the greatest golfers of all time. He's super talented. He does things with a golf club only the average, above average, even club pro could only imagine. And 3/4 of the PGA Tour could only dream about. Great. The issue he's having, and the reason I haven't picked him, and I don't think he's a favorite here or anywhere, or should be a favorite here or anywhere, is because unlike where he was when he left the PGA Tour after the back, during the back surgeries and the personal issues, he left a tour that he was the best player in golf. He came back to the PGA Tour where there's 20 guys at least as good as he is. And you can and I know that's going to ruffle feathers and say, oh, that's crap. No, it really isn't crap. It's proven every single week. Yes, he's competitive every week, but he is suffering from a problem that I don't know if he can overcome, and it's not confidence. It's not any of that. It's none of that. I mean, he's going to win a tournament again. I'm not going to come out and say that. He's going to win a tournament again, and he'll likely win a major, but he's not going to win 18. He's not going to win more than one, and he's not going to string together more than a win or two a season for the next handful of seasons. I don't think he's going to win this year. I think he will win next year. I think he'll win once. He may even win twice. But that's it. He may get his major victory next year, but I do not see him running a string of those together. I wrote about it this week. You should check it out on the website. Tiger Woods. It's in the View from the Lou group of articles, and this week my view was, the expectations are too high, and I believe they are. This is a guy that's going to that's suffering from the same problem that Phil Mickelson suffers from. Tiger Woods is healthy. He's playing golf. He's playing a lot of golf. But Phil Mickelson spoke earlier this year, even late last year. He had mentioned this. He talked about where his game was and how well he's playing. And from time to time you see that. But he also talked about how difficult it is to string 4 really good rounds together. And at his age. Now, he's older than Tiger by a few years. But Tiger's got a lot of mileage on that body with all the surgeries, all the swing changes, everything that he's gone through, the personal, You know, it's not the years, it's the mileage, folks. It's the mileage. And for him to string 4 rounds together, it's hard. It's hard for a young guy in his prime to do it. Ask Dustin Johnson how hard it was for him to string 4 really good rounds together. And right now, he's the best player in golf. He's the best player in golf. Some people want to say, oh, Rory McIlroy has a better game. I don't think so. I don't think there's a guy who strikes the ball better than Dustin Johnson right now. I don't think so. We have not had a better a driver of the golf ball than Dustin ever, in my opinion. Not Tiger, not Jack, not anybody. And I don't mean length. I mean everything, the total package, the swing. Dustin Johnson is the best athlete in golf, bar none. Rory McIlroy, good athlete, hits a ball a long way, has all the talent in the world, but he doesn't have the drive. Dustin does. Dustin has the drive. As long as he's playing. He goes on brief hiatuses and where he's out 2 or 3, and it takes him, where he's out 2 or 3 weeks, and it takes him a week or two to get back on track, and that's what you're seeing. Tiger Woods, it is really hard to string those 4 rounds together, and I don't see him in a situation where he's going to do it. I just don't see it. Not with any regularity. Now, he may surprise me and win this week. And you know something? Coming into this year, I was never a fan. I was engaged, and I wanted to watch him play golf. And I wouldn't openly root against him, but he was never a favorite. Because up until this year, to me, he was somebody that didn't... I don't think he realized what he meant to the game of golf. I don't think he did. He was out playing and trying to win championships, and he didn't truly understand what he meant to the game. And I don't mean championships and wins. I'm talking about what he meant to the other players, what he can hand out to the other players, the value he provides. Those guys on tour, Paul Azinger talks about this all the time. He doesn't understand, shaking, how friendly these guys are on the course. I get that. That's not the way it used to be, but it is the way it is now. Tiger wants to beat you, no doubt. But up until this year, you've never seen him openly in public talking to other players in a fashion that giving advice and doing things of that nature. He's got a lot of knowledge that he can impart on these kids. And I say kids because some of these players are 22, 23, 24. He's got a lot of knowledge and a lot of info that he can pass on. He's been a great champion. He's had his day. It's time for him to hand over some of that great knowledge that he has. And he's starting to do that. He's starting to understand more. He smiles more. He's more friendly with the press. He's more available to the press. He's doing all the little things that you didn't see him do before. Before, he was too busy winning and talking about being the best and being smug about it, to be honest. You don't see it now. It's easier to root for Tiger now. It's easier to root for him because he hasn't won. A lot of people felt that way about Jack in his day. As he was in his career, later in his career, when he stopped winning as often. where wins became way more scarce. He became easier to root for. A lot of people looked at Jack the same way they looked at Tiger. And most, and a lot of people in my generation, I'm 45, a lot of people in my generation feel that, Tiger's the greatest golfer that ever lived, and I will never be on par with that, just because of everything Jack accomplished. But what Tiger did do that Jack didn't do is bring the masses to the game. Tiger brought fans to the game of every race, every genre of people were interested in golf at least a little bit because Tiger was involved. People couldn't believe what he could do with a golf ball. Him understanding that and embracing that makes him more enjoyable now to me than ever. With that said, he's not going to win this week. He's likely not going to win this year, and likely, it's going to be a while before he wins a tournament. He doesn't putt well on Sundays. His second shots are not putting him in position to win tournaments on the weekends. He may have a great Saturday, he has a horrible Sunday. He may have a good Sunday, but his Saturday was so bad it put him out of reach. It was just impossible for him to come back. There's always a round, a 9 holes, a 10, 11, 12 hole stretch that just ruins his round, that takes him out of contention each and every week. Once again, that is not a rip. That is nothing more than a fact. Doesn't make him a bad golfer. Doesn't make him not one of the greats. It just makes him 40-something. And a guy that has seen better days. Not to say you can't root for him. Not to say he's never going to win again. But he is not the golfer he used to be. It is still fun to watch him. It's still fun to root for him and against him. And I hope someday that he gets his next win. But the expectations of him winning every single tournament, like every week. Oh, it's Tiger's week. Oh, it's Tiger's week. Every single week. This golf course sets up well for him. Oh, he can win here. He's won here before. That was his MO. Winning over and over again at places that he knows very well. Well, that hasn't heeded any results this year. And I don't think this week it's going to do it either. You got too many big names that aren't afraid of him. These kids nowadays, these kids that are playing right now, don't care who he is. They care about the money he's helping them make, but they don't care about him as a competitor. They're worried about themselves. They figured out that they need to play the course and play against themselves and do the right thing as far as that goes. They're not worrying about what Tiger's doing. Unlike what we used to see, in the last 15 years or 20, unlike what we've seen in the last 20, that just doesn't happen anymore. So, that ship sailed, and as I said, there are 20 guys, at least 20 guys on the sheet every week that is as good as him or better at any time. Dustin Johnson this week. You take his best game right now against Tiger's best game, I'll take Dustin any day of the week and twice on Sunday. That doesn't mean Tiger wouldn't beat him 1 or 2 or maybe 3 out of every 10 rounds. But he's not gonna win the majority. With that said, speaking of head-to-head, I guess he and Phil are going to be playing a head-to-head for $10 million. I think that is fantastic theater. It'll be fun to watch the two of them duel and play. Tiger, in my opinion, will likely annihilate him. And it's just because we've seen Phil play poorly when he plays against Tiger over and over again we've just seen it. But what we haven't seen is the two of them paired up on a Sunday, down the stretch. So this gives everybody an opportunity to see them two. They're in the twilight of their careers, but of their PGA careers. But it'll be fun nonetheless. It's good theater. Golf needs it. And the two of them, they're spokespeople for the PGA Tour, for the tour itself. So it'll be fun. Can't wait to watch it, actually. Sneak peek. I think as far as the WGC this week, I picked 3 names. I picked 3 guys I'm fairly confident in. And if you want to know who I think is going to win, by all means, dial into DYST Golf. Did you see that golf.com? Look at Zach's and his other writer. They put together a nice preview for the WGC. They're over there right now, covering it. Some great images from practice and from the media week. Can't wait to get his coverage just for the remainder of the week. So, with that said, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back at it next week with some maybe some Ryder Cup talk. Definitely some PGA Championship preview talk. Can't wait for that because definitely it's going to be a star-studded deal. Lord knows it's going to be a shootout because the PGA doesn't know how to put together a course without having it roll over and play dead. So I can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait to rail on them and go deep into that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, this is Golf Talk After Dark. Dial into the show next week so we can get into that. I hope you enjoyed it. And good night.
Communicate